society has a weird way to sculpt us as we grow. Some things are termed right, some are not, and nobody knows why. Most don't ask questions and take it at face value.
Some foods are fit to be consumed while others are a taboo. Who makes these rules? Though some are rightly ruled, some are not. And why do we laugh at others when they fail to comply to these man-made rules?
As I was thinking about all these things, I stumbled across the question: what is madness? At first it seems, madness is something that is dangerous, harmful, detrimental for the planet, or pure wickedness. When we think about it, we ain't wrong, that is what madness is after all. Here, let's take a few seconds, and consider a few instances.
A person throwing stones at others for no obvious reason is wicked madness. A person laughing hysterically for no cause is pure madness. A person thinking they could fly and trying to jump off high places is just mad.
Thus, we can make a list of all the obvious things called madness, and agree that indeed the society is right. After all, they all do seem to be something dangerous, harmful, or pure wickedness. Nah. But not me. I like to think the craziest, fantasize the unknown, and delve into such darkness and light that most people won't bother. So here, I present my thoughts and my findings.
Let's revise the examples that we previously agreed were nothing but madness and change the way we view things. To see how the definition of madness changes according to the perspective we look at it from. A person laughing hysterically can be labeled mad, but if that same person reveals he was listening to a funny podcast from a pair of AirPods that we missed to notice, is no longer someone who is mad. Because apparently we understand what could have made him laugh. A person thinking they could fly with a glider they didn't mention earlier no longer stays the same mad person we thought them to be. A person throwing stones at others for a movie scene that we didn't pay attention to again turns from being a mad person to a guy working hard to earn a living.
Can you see how the definition of madness changes according to what makes sense to us and what does not? Let us do something creative and put those people we talked about earlier back in 1456, where most people were not familiar with AirPods or gliders and neither cameras. In such a setting, these people would be considered mad despite them having a completely valid reason for their behavior. Let us take an easy example that will resonate with everyone.
Imagine two people talking to each other in a language that's not understood. Most people will think they are having a conversation without bothering much. Now if someone who understands a part of it approaches us and says,
"They are using words from my language, but it is all gibberish,"
the former sensible situation suddenly takes a turn into madness.
This is how society works. Anything that people don't understand will be madness, irrespective of how ingenious it is. If more than one person does that, it will be called a taboo. If furthermore people do that taboo, it will be called a cult. If more people join this cult, it will be called a group. And if more and more people will join it, finally it will turn into a culture, and the same madness may now be called trend.
In other words, what is madness? Anything that the majority of people don't understand. Though in most cases, they rightfully call it madness, but there are times when this terminology reveals its flawed structure. To sum up,
if there are things that we don't understand, it may not always be madness.